Hi, hello. How is everyone doing today? I hope we're having a good time. Hold on. I need to do something real quick. My bad. We're sliding back into seats. Hello. All right, everyone. How are we doing? Rajar, hello. How are you? And Nino, hello. Thanks for tuning in. And let's see, Waves, hello. And you're off to sleep, leaving the PC on to download stuff, so you'll lurk once more. Oh, I thank you. Enjoy lurking. I know you won't actively be here, but do enjoy. I have my sippy at the ready. I have some goals in front of me, maybe theoretically. Yeah. And Raja, you will also be going soon, but that's okay. Thank you for stopping in at all. It's wonderful to see you. We take our little sips. All right. So, of course, it is June. It is that time of year where we are doing our summer camp prep. And of course, I've already leapt onto the 2 homeworks that have been released. And yeah, so there's even more stuff to be done, of course. Hello. I have VTT game as well as 8:30, but here to hang while I prep. Hello, Kitoy. Hi. Thanks for stopping in, and congrats on your fabulous prizes. Thank you. Oh, I'm pointing the wrong way. There they are. They're up there on the shelf behind me. Of course, I wanted to find a good place to put them where I could just have them on display while I'm just kind of doing my thing. Yeah, it took me like an unfortunately long time to just devise a place to put them. I really overthought it, I think. I just put things up and I was like, is this good enough? Is this the right spot? It's the curse of the overthinker. But anyway, what are we getting started with? So of course we have, I don't know, we're gonna jump into some stuff. I didn't change the currently text on my stream. I never do. Oh goodness. Let's just change that real quick. Prepping for summer camp. Some more. Is that too much? That's too much. More prep for summer camp. There we go. Organizing, writing, cleaning house. Wahoo! Prizes are good right there. Yeah, I thought they would be. Sometimes I just kind of, sometimes I lean a little far this way, but not very much, not often. Oh, let's see, yes, we switched the currently text. Now it actually reflects what I'm doing today. And so, yeah, let's just kind of get into it. I'm gonna see what I actually want to do as far as organizing, preparing myself. And part of that may include working on my meta some more. There are a lot of fields in my meta that just aren't filled out yet, so I'm like, oh, maybe I should kind of flesh that out a little bit more. But then I'm like, ooh, well, if I'm gonna do meta stuff, I might as well make myself a world, intro. And I want to do that anyway. And so, I feel like that's such an involved task. Sort of, kind of, maybe. Yeah, I'll be game prepping for my game tonight, and I have my other campaign on Saturday. Oh gosh, you just stay busy. I would love to have multiple campaigns going, but gosh, I just don't have the time. Maybe I will. I don't know, cuz I am getting free Saturdays, not Saturdays, Fridays. I always had free Saturdays. Yeah, we're freeing up our Fridays every week now going forward, which is I think pretty awesome. Waking up as early as I have been this week though is really killing me cuz of course I'm not going to bed any earlier, which I really should. I'm waking up 2 hours earlier than I have been for the past several months. And now I'm waking up earlier. I'm not really going to bed any earlier. It's so I'm a fool. Is all I'll say. I'm a little baby fool and I do silly things. Let's see. So yeah, I could I could do some more. I can do some more meta stuff. I think I will, in fact. All you equalize your sleep. Yes, I must. I know I need to, and I'm gonna try to. I just am a shitty little baby, for lack of a better term. I want to stay up, because yay, nighttime, I get to do stuff, I get to do my own thing. And then I just, I stay up too late, and oopsie poopsie, I should not have done that, but I do. Let's see. I actually think I need to take this entire section and move it. Is it in the scene tab? How did this world come to be? I was just looking at it. Focus? No. Theme? Oh, it's on the same page. I just scrolled up. And I should probably be looking at this meta while I'm working on it, so I know what I'm actually doing. Yes, so Malcora is a noble dim high fantasy setting, drenched in themes of faith, exploration, and rapid evolution. And so I did take the little snippet off of the tone and setting alignment article that was talked about on stream a few days ago. This article, it's a very excellent article.
Refresh yourselves.
Oh, I thank you for coming in with the sippies. And for anybody who doesn't have this article just like chambered and ready to look at any time, I recommend you just, have it. Because it's really great. I love looking at this thing. They have like the whole chart of all the different ranges of themes, and they even have example worlds from WorldAnvil that fall under each of these different types of themes. So they have a scale from noble to grim and bright to dark. And so what I chose is, where is it? Noble Dim. You're on there! Hoo. Yep, there you are. World of Wizard's Peak under Greyglow. Very fun. Often a large place filled with many beings, the effects of a single person can often be lost in a universe of decisions. Evil may have a role to play, but the world often self-corrects with an overwhelming force of hope. I like that. But yes, Noble Dim is what I chose for Malcora, and it's just a theme that I like. It's a mood that I like. Because especially one of the examples on there is Lord of the Rings, and I like how things work in there. And the description that they gave is either actively recessing into an age of darkness or on the verge of escaping one. Heroes have the power to steer the course of the future, even if doing so almost guarantees sacrificing their life in this noble pursuit. So yes, I want people to be able to make a difference, but making that difference isn't always going to be easy or fun or without sacrifice. But it's possible, it's doable, and it's something that people can strive for. And so it's a good energy. Maybe at some point I'll make it a goal of reaching out to get myself on this list. I'm sure it's still updated. I don't know. It could be. This isn't a name that I feel like I see at all chatting. But yeah, that's all good. So yeah, that article is in the chat for anyone who doesn't have it. But it's really fun. You kind of just, you decide how much agency your people have, you decide how icky terrible their life is, or how not icky terrible their life is. Yeah, you just kind of put yourself on a scale. Of course, there is the note down here. It says, don't pigeonhole yourself. Something, yeah, don't let yourself get pigeonholed. Just because your world or setting heavily aligns with a single mood, don't feel like you can't sprinkle in elements from other terms into your project. Hello, Autumn. How are you? Haven't seen them active in a while. Yeah, I didn't think that they were. I don't know. Could happen, could not. Because of course, like this little copyright note hasn't been updated since 2020, so yeah, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, people ebb and flow. That is true. Like I know that personally because I most certainly did at one point ebb. So yeah, I know how it is to just kind of like disappear for a while. Maybe you come back, maybe you don't, and you know. Let's see, I'm writing an article right now doing a prompt from WorldAnvil. Oh, that's cool. Which prompt are you working on? I'm just working on my meta and trying to get that a little more fleshed out. Ideally before summer camp. This one, describe a common addiction in your world and how it's treated. Oh, that's fun. That can go so many different ways. Talk about literal addictions. You can talk about people's favorite things that they just can't stop doing for some reason. Yeah, I didn't write much on meta. It's a good, like, helpful tool for understanding, like, on your own personal level what your world is and what your project is supposed to be. Because it's very easy to just start writing and not really know what your goal is. And so you write a whole bunch of things, and then you realize, like, oh, you know, I actually figured out what my goals were after starting all that writing, and a lot of this writing doesn't align with those goals. So yeah, that gets a little unfortunate, but we're trying to reel in that aspect of ourselves. Because I of course have mentioned many times over that I have a lot of articles that are old and outdated and don't match my vision of the world and like the very function of the world anymore. You know, old stuff, retcon stuff, just things that don't work anymore. And that's because I did not solidify my goals in my own head before starting to write all about it. So we've gone through several iterations. You know, I'd decide, hey, I kind of want to do this, and then I'd write a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, oh, I kind of want to do this, and I'd write a bunch of stuff. And then, you know, eventually I was like, oh, let's actually like sit down and decide what our themes are and what we're going to be doing and how the world, like, you know, functions on a meta level. And now I'm like, I have a lot of stuff that doesn't align with that. Like, I like the stuff conceptually, and I will, like, keep it to some degree, but I need to rewrite it so that it functions. And there's a lot of that to do. So we're gonna kind of figure it out as we go. Like, I'm not in a crazy rush to just take care of everything and just fix everything that's there. But, you know, it's a progress. A process. That's what I meant. Just resizing this page over here. Yeah, I was thinking I'd update my pledge article, maybe with a couple more things, with like more of my plans and my actual kind of goals outside of just getting diamond, you know? Like I have some community goals, some plans for things I want to do maybe on stream or just working with people. It's gonna be pretty cool. I want to shout out my chapter as well on that page. I just need to get the chapter homepage to like a more presentable state. So I feel like, you know, happy and comfortable sharing it with everybody. Or like not sharing it, but like presenting it to everyone. Cause like it's there and it's public, obviously. Like you can go see it. It's just not at a state where I'm like, oh yes, it is perfect. There everyone come gather and look at it. No, it's not quite there yet. Like I worked on the CSS and everything. It looks nice, so if someone stumbles on it, they won't be like, "Oh, ew, what the heck is this?" But they might click on some of the like member pages and be like, "Huh, there's not really any info here." Um, of course, that's why I tried to leave little notes at the top of each one. It's like, "This article's under construction." Like, I'm sorry, there's just not stuff on here yet, but we'll get there. I'm working on like a Google form of like, you know, here's the info that we would like to feature on these little pages, like, you know, write yourself a little bio, like that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna send out that form to everybody, and as those answers start coming in, I'll just, you know, update each of the pages. There are a couple pages that are done, like my page is finished, Nino's page is finished. A bunch of other pages are like mostly like half finished, and I'm missing like, you know, 1 or 2 elements per person. It's like, you know, this person's missing their bio and their favorite works, and you like that kind of stuff. So a lot to work on, but we're not completely without stuff. I still need to wrangle all the people who are not active. Because yeah, I did kind of just pick up this chapter after after a long time where nothing was going on in it, and of course, I think I would give like the generous estimate of more than half of the people on there just hadn't chatted in ages. Some people, there were some people who joined like 2-3 years ago, said like 2 things and then never came back to the chat, which is interesting. But yeah, I don't know. Chapters were probably like just a very different thing back in the day, and you know, you just kind of you join it, you celebrate, and then you forget it exists. Oopsie poopsie. But yeah, I'm still like in the setup phase where I'm like, okay, I'm trying to gather the people, I'm trying to organize stuff, trying to figure out what exactly we're doing, what this whole chapter thing is about, and what we want to do with it. But it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of great opportunity in it. And of course, with summer camp coming up, there's already a lot of work for each of us to be doing individually. So I don't want to throw in too many things into the pot all at once. Because of course we have members in the chapter who have never done a summer camp before. They're new to WorldAnvil completely. You know, like all this kind of stuff. So I don't want to overwhelm anybody. Like, I don't want to throw too many things all at once at anybody, especially not the new people. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna keep it chill. Uh-oh. Oh, computer. Okay, I guess we only get one screen today. Oh, good. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but my computer has just been freaking out lately, and sometimes my second monitor will just be like, goodbye. And there it is, it has goodbyed. And it doesn't correct itself until I restart the computer. Like, it doesn't matter if I unplug anything, it doesn't matter if I, like, reset the scene. Don't matter. None of it matters. Yee-hoo. Let's see, I don't know. Oh. Oh, never mind, haha. There we go. Easy peasy. Cool, but now it's actively showing me the yellow border on that screen and I don't like it. It's distracting, but oh well. We fixed it. We fixed the problem. I don't know why that never worked before. Anyway, minor technical hiccup that turned into actually just a hiccup. Everything is fine. Everything is all good. Yeah, so let's see. Oh man, I kinda... congrats on getting through your technical difficulty, thank you! I'm kind of... I'm kind of curious. I might do some world hopping. Check out some other people's metas for inspiration. I know the meta is for me, but I want it to make sense. if that even makes sense. I get it, yeah. At the very least, if it's something that I am presenting to people, I'd like it to look good. And of course I made the mistake of clicking on TJ's first. And that thing's just like beautiful. How did he do this? Mine is less beautiful if you want to take a look, maybe. I'm just curious how does one set up their meta so it's all like essentially as though you typed in an article in a vignette. Oh, just hide the header and go with it. A little CSS trick or something. Because straight up, let's see. Straight up we go to TJ's meta here. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, and it's just like, you know, custom sections. Use the same stuff as what's in an article. I don't mean like the BB code and such, but you know, like this section is about this project, and there's no section in the meta that says about this project. So is that literally just you pick a random field to type all your stuff into and then like hide the original like default header or something? Just putting everything in a random field. Okay, that's kind of what I thought. That makes sense. Cause I feel like that's something I'd want to do as well, because much like with the article prompts, like just in any article that you write, I never use any of them. I like just organizing things the way I decide to, essentially. And so I feel like I would want to do exactly that, just like take maybe some of my favorite topics from the meta and just put them in sections that I make myself. But that's maybe a task for another day. Yeah. So okay, at least I know how that works now. Makes me feel better. I have the smart brain. The real salties, hi. How do you do? Let's see. I'm prepping my stuff looking for inspiration, just doing whatever it is that I, as a creature, am want to do. Oh. And of course I was like, oh, I made the mistake of clicking on TJ's, which is beautiful, and then I went straight to Cathedras. I'm really, like, I'm doing it to myself at this point. But it is absolutely beautiful. I just see Oster with the tier 1 sub. Ah, summer camp, go feral! Ooh! Yes, I'm so ready. Thank you very much, I appreciate you. Looking at TJ's meta, he definitely set the headings to display none and kept what he needs. Yeah, absolutely. That I had a feeling, I had an inkling, but I wasn't sure if there was some kind of like crazy secret that I just wasn't privy to. Yeah, but okay. Let's look. Because we go to this one, of course, we have Cathedras. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, let's see if we can just, oh, uh-oh. Do not, oh god, I'm clicking on things. Stop it. I was trying to drag this out real quick so I could just kind of do this. I'll get out of here, chat. Yeah, because we're looking at this meta right here. And it does keep all of like the sections that are default. And of course we got some beautiful art thrown in there. And then very, very intimidating, we just have this entire line of awards. And so that's just Very intimidating. It hasn't even been updated with the new ones, so he's gonna find some interesting way to rearrange these. Maybe start doing 2 rows? And yeah, so this is really cool. So we have all these genres. What I need to do is familiarize myself with the different types of genres. Because, you know, Stormbrill has picked a bajillion different ones, and they all make sense. You know, we have the gothic industrial, we have diesel punk, dark fantasy, military conspiracy, capitalism run amok, and power. You know, that one's pretty good for summer camp this year. Yeah. Oh gosh. Hold on. This is this one word to describe it all. Dark power, industrial diesel gothic, conspiratorial mill fantasy capitalism punk. There we go. One nice simple word to describe Cathedras. Spent a lot of time on the meta and I just threw stuff onto the fields. Yeah, I mean, listen, as far as the meta is concerned, I think that's all you need to do. This is fun. I think there was a point in time where I actually planned to use this image in something. Like this base image. Of course, Stormbrill added this character over here. I had an article about like mountains and goats, you know, like just the creatures, the livestock of the mountains, and I was like, oh, this is a cool picture, but I think I'll pick a different one. Yeah. So all the drama. Yeah, so this is really cool. I would love to have a more fleshed out meta like this at some point. At least once I figure out what I want all of my little things to be. Let's see. Scene. The laws of Cathedras. Ooh. Oh, they're so fancy. Oh, what is this? What is this bit of CSS? I want to compete with Cathedras and Melkora. I gotta up my game. Oh my gosh, my brain can't process me being like lumped together with Cathedras, like in the same sentence, in the same context. Oh gosh, it is. The development of my world is not at that level yet. Look at the shelf behind you. Ah! Yeah, I'm looking the opposite direction. Yes, that is true. They are up there. And I guess, and see, you also have a one up on me because I literally won a category against Cathedras. So, God damn it, I played myself. I'm sorry. Oh. But still, this is really beautiful and well developed. And I would love to get, you know, this kind of stuff to this level as well. That'd be really great. But we'll see. Yeah, I'm just kind of. Oh, I did not grab it from there. This is all the categories I was in. He's a badass motherfucker. Trying to. This is a family-friendly channel. I could say that, but I'd be lying. Well, it's not exactly unfriendly. But sometimes I do come on here and I just say frick.
Refresh yourselves!
Sippy? In response to me saying frick? I'm unfriendly to families. Oh no. Do not be unfriendly to the families. Please. Where am I? Oh, let's have a little peek. Oh, Kitoipo, I'm looking at your meta right now and it looks nice. You got like images and blocks in here. I literally have a family, so I have to stay somewhat friendly. Aw. Families are cool. Yeah, I'll just pop this over here. I love this GIF that you have in here of the pit. It's just fun to look at. Just seeing all of this stuff in here. The perfect little scroll level. I'll fight whole families, nuclear and extended. Oh no. I need to up my game in there. My meta, hidden from view. That is fair. You know, I think I have my meta like in the settings set to not be viewable. Or it's like set to private or something. I don't know. But it's still there. It sure is still on the homepage. I'm not really at a stage anymore where I want to hide it, so I'm like okay with it being there, but I think for a while I was like, oh, this thing is nowhere near at a level where I want it to be seen by people. So we're just gonna, you know, keep it under wraps or something. I don't know. Oh, okay, so meta. Go back. I can see your meta, yeah, okay. Oh, okay, well, I have it checked now. I think I checked it recently. I was like, display world meta to everyone. What if I uncheck it real quick? I just... Yeah, I unchecked the little display world meta to everyone. And it sure is still on my world. So I don't actually know what that button does. Very silly hee-hoo. But that's fine. We'll recheck it, because I would like for it to remain live. Oh, now you can't see it? Oh, okay, maybe I can just see it because it's private. Okay. That makes sense, I guess. In a roundabout way, that makes sense. So now I know. I can see it no matter what, but if I uncheck the little box, it goes away. Well, let's see what happened. Mind Criminal has followed. Thank you very much for coming along and following. My little chill stream where I'm doing a lot more talking than writing. You turned it off. It's okay. It's yours. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Oh, shrimp check. Yeah, you see me leaning. See me sitting like a weirdo. I'll do my little stretch. And I'll try to sit like a normal human being. Thank you. I will even take a sip in your honor. See, I kinda... Well, maybe I will make it a goal to respond to every single one of these little prompts, and then in the future...
Refresh yourselves.
Thank you for the sip. And then in the future, I can go grab all those things and kind of like mush them together into the categories that I like.
Refresh yourselves.
keep it up with the sippies. Sipping on the cantaloupe old fashioned I made for myself. Ooh, that sounds really good. I'm such a fan of cantaloupe. It's just such a good... It's a good fruit. Melon good. And on the topic of melon, I also really like honeydew. I feel like that one's really hit or miss with people. I'm a fan of it. My favorite smoothie order is honeydew lychee. That's what I get whenever I go out to get boba. let's see. So what is the genre of your world? I'm gonna look up like fantasy genre list, essentially. Of course, we have sword and sorcery, which there's a lot more swords than sorcery, I would imagine, in my world. Maybe. We'll have to see. Of course, there is also high fantasy. It's a toughie. Because I did kind of define this world as like, you know, the people don't really have access to very much magic, which is kind of, I feel, the staple of like a high fantasy tale. But yeah. Paranormal romance. I do feel like some of these like genres are more suited to stories within a world rather than the whole world itself. And I don't really have stories yet. I just have the world. Let's see, what is the fantasy genre? Sword and Planets Regency Paranormal Romance. Ooh. That is a good list of words. So let's see, what is the fantasy genre? History of fantasy and subgenres and types of fantasy in literature. It's just a random article that I've clicked on. Learn from the best. Oh, let's see, what are the subgenres and types of fantasy? I'm trying to hate WorldAnvil. I have to credit pictures, that's dumb, they aren't gonna see it. Yeah, you have to credit all of the artwork that you use. And I don't know who you're talking about, like that they are not gonna see it. If you're talking about the artist, that's not a good take. You have to make sure that any art that you use in your articles is credited, no matter what. Someone's gonna see it. Someone is going to see the art in that article and they're gonna be like, huh, who made this? Was it you or was it someone else? And it starts to get a little bit dubious. It starts to get a little bit dubious and it starts to get a little bit disrespectful to the artist if you don't. If someone takes your words, how would you feel about it? Exactly. Yeah, if you are using, especially if you're using someone else's artwork, you should credit them so that everybody knows where you got it from. It is just common courtesy. And I say this as an artist myself. If someone were to use my works in their world, I would want them credited. They posted it online, they know the risk. That is not a good take. We are not going to say things like that in my chat, and that is not an attitude I will tolerate. So please, do not complain about such things in this chat, because, again, I don't like that. Have some courtesy, have some respect to artists, especially if you are using their work to improve yours. Yeah, it's not how that works. An artist deserves all the credit for their work, practice, and time. Precisely. Anyway, subgenres, types of fantasy. We have higher epic fantasy, set in a magical environment, has its own rules and physical laws. I would say that epic fantasy would describe Malcora pretty well. Low fantasy is the real world, includes unexpected magical elements that shock characters. Magical realism. Sword and sorcery focuses on sword-wielding heroes, as well as magic or witchcraft. You know, I would say sorcery is not like a huge thing on the individual level. But there is sorcery. Like, it does exist, though it's not going to be very easy to access for the average person. Like, harder than usual. Obviously, in the D&D world, you have a lot more peasants than sorcerers. But that would be pushed even further in my world. And of course, dark fantasy. I would like my world to have some dark fantasy elements to it. And we typing a bunch of stuff and I stop myself. Let's keep it chill and feral for world building only. Yes, good. that is ideal. That is good. Cheryl, yeah. Yeah, we're keeping the energy Cheryl. Yeah, that's I'm in the same boat. Like I said what I said. I said what I said. So I'm just keeping it moving. We're keeping the vibes good. And yeah, so of course we have the fables, we have fairy tales, superhero fiction. Yeah, so I would definitely include Camp Camp Cheryl. Yeah, there you go. In my opinion, Malcor is more in line with low fantasy. It has those auras, but not to a strong extent. That is fair. I don't know, but like low fantasy strikes me as like there's not a huge presence of magic in general. But my world is it is shaped and reshaped constantly by magic, and so it's very present. It's just not usable by people. And so I feel like that's where the distinction gets a little weird. I don't know, because like there's a lot of weird magical stuff going on. I just haven't gotten around to writing it yet. For low fantasy, magic isn't usable by people. Sort of. Probably. Yeah, but it's not completely off the table for people to use. It's just not like you can't just be a wizard, you know what I mean? Like you can't study magic and just suddenly become it. But the gift happens sometimes. In high fantasy, there are wizards who can move energy around. Also, it's your world and your rules. Yeah, like again, this is kind of what I talk about when I'm in the chat, like especially in like the Discord and such. I'm like, oh, I have all these ideas in my head, and I'll make Malcora really cool on paper one day. It's like I haven't written a lot of this stuff in, and so not a lot of people actually really know how my world works, and that's not going to change until I actually start writing about it. And of course, like I overwhelm myself when I'm like talking about it, like, oh, well, this is true, this might not be true. I was like, oh, but this is also a technically possible thing. And so it gets a little muddy when I'm talking about it out loud. And so it is my goal to write myself like a proper intro to the world, like describe how the laws of like, you know, magic work. Yeah. We'll see. We shall see. Yeah, cuz like yeah, magical realism. Yeah, at least with these descriptions of low fantasy and magical realism, it kind of describes like a very normal world, like a realistic world, um, a world without much fantastical element. Um, and so just like right off the bat, I don't feel too connected to those, but we'll see. So I do want things to get really weird and really fantastical. I just have to actually get to I have to get to writing those things, those parts of my world. Cause yeah, it's like, cause again, like magic is all throughout this world, and there are the gods and the elementals, and like magic is a very present thing, and that magic can appear and be. It interacts with the world a lot, and so it's a toughie. You know, definitely epic fantasy, magitech, and steampunk with Filipino flavor all over everything. Excellent. Yeah, your world is so cool. I'm really glad that I got the chance to like step into it for a little while. That was really fun. Well, let's see, how did fantasy originate as a genre? See, common elements and characteristics of the fantasy genre. Yeah, good versus evil. Heroic or villainous quest for power or knowledge, tradition versus change, individual versus society, man versus nature, man versus himself, coming of age, love, betrayal, epic journey, the unlikely and or reluctant hero. I do love the unlikely hero. That is a fun trope. Sad that I missed watching it. Yeah, it was a really fun time. There is a VOD available, I believe, for that session if you do just want to go check it out. But yeah, it was really funny. I almost got like slapped into dirt by giant crab monster. So we love to see it. It's out there. It was a blast. Heck yeah. See, thoughts on fantasy. 7 common fantasy subgenres. Ooh. It's high and epic fantasy. Yes, takes place in an entirely fictional fantasy world. And there's multiple characters, large-scale quests, where the fate of the world rests on the shoulders of heroes. An epic fantasy is for more lengthy, large-scale high fantasies. Characters almost down on the first round of the first combat. Yeah, that... I made myself known first. I tried to fry the crab and it took that personally. And so low fantasy, fantasy that takes place in the real world or something very like the real world, and includes magical or supernatural elements. Characters often discover secret magical forces or supernatural creatures within their supposedly normal surrounds. The crab liked you, it wanted a crab hug. Listen, I got hugged by so many crabs during that session. I didn't need the big one also hugging me. Portal fantasy. Travel from the real world into a fictional fantasy world, often through a portal or gateway. Those stories are fun. Of course, urban fantasy. We got Dresden Files. Hello. The little crabs did like you too. Yeah, they really did. We got paranormal. Fantasy romance. Young adult fantasy. Children's fantasy. Fairy tale retellings. Sword and sorcery / heroic fantasy. Who wouldn't like a line? Oh, you're too kind. Yeah, so heroic fantasy, sword and sorcery. Yeah, stories that focus primarily on swashbuckling heroes, swordplay, exciting battles, and violent conflicts. Yeah, those are the kinds of stories I would like to eventually set in Malcora. You know, just heroism and grand adventures. Medieval fantasy. You could say maybe theoretically I'm also in the scope of medieval fantasy, but also not really. I haven't decided on like a era that I'm like kind of basing my world on, or like the tech levels of different parts of the world. I imagine it would be very different in different parts of the world, specifically because of how the lands change. Like some levels of tech just wouldn't survive in different places of the world. Or maybe they did exist and then they just got crumbled. You know, when your region turns into a volcanic wasteland just out of nowhere, tends to do some things to the technology of your civilization. Maybe you'll rebuild, maybe. Theoretically. Comic fantasy. Comedic. Science fantasy. Grimdark fantasy. Yeah, alas, we are not doing grimdark. Sword and some sorcery, yes. Love Terry Pratchett, yeah. Gothic fantasy. blend of fantasy and horror. The new weird. Interesting. A type of urban secondary world fiction that subverts the romanticized ideals about place found in traditional fantasy, largely by choosing realistic, complex, real-world models as the jumping-off point for creation of settings that may combine elements of both science fiction and fantasy. It has strong ties with the gothic horror and fantasy. Gothic and horror genres. I made up words there. And grimdark fantasy, as well as science fantasy, and is seen as a revival of classic weird fiction like that of H.P. Lovecraft. China Evil is so weird.
Refresh
I'll
yourselves.
have to check it out, maybe. Thank you for the sip. I think we were referencing it when I was on stream with WorldAnvil on Saturday. Ooh. The new weird is pulling in cosmic and eldritch horror. That'll be my new world. Oh, that's really cool. Alright. So. Where am I? Meta. Okay, so what is the genre of your world? I'm going to say high fantasy. That is what I feel in my heart of hearts. I definitely have some of that weird flavor in mine. Heck yeah. Listen, we love a world that's a little bit weird. Oh, just typed an X in there for some reason. Okay. So. Malcora is you know your own world the best. That is true. I'm the only one who can know my world at this point because I haven't written it all down yet. That'll change. This is my solemn vow to everyone. You all in chat can be my witness. I will change that. I will do the writing. I will present the writing to the world. We'll get there. Like my goal, if not during this month and summer camp, by the end of this year, I will have an introduction for my world, and I will have at least a couple more, like, larger fleshed out articles that can help better define the setting for people. Like, that is my goal. This is the dream I'm working towards. Alright. Alcora is a high fantasy setting in which most of the magic is in the lands and it's rarely in the hands of the people. Nice. I need to get some non-world building writing in. Dabbled in some fiction and really enjoyed it, but don't have the spoons to get down to it. Completely fair. I have not had the spoons for basically anything. Like, I messaged someone earlier today because I hadn't gotten back to them on a message. Like, oh hey, sorry I haven't gotten back to you. The spoons have been toilet flushing sounds, you know? And they're like, oh my god, yeah, I know that feeling intimately. And so, yeah, we are all just spoonless kindred spirits. Like, I need to find a good way to describe it, because, like, I know what I mean. But you all don't quite know what I mean because I keep saying it weird. That's the hard part of being a writer when you don't write. It's like, It's like when we break it down, Malcora is a land that is completely built on, driven by, destroyed and rebuilt constantly by the forces of magic. And these different magic forces interact with the people very frequently And on the whim of the powers that be, sometimes people can, temporarily or permanently maybe, gain the ability to perform certain forms of magic. But it's like one of those, like, oh, this entity chose me to bear this magic, and this does not happen very frequently. Or I have been mutated in such a way by the magic that has turned this land that I'm now able to do like the specific set of things directly related to the magic that has done this to me. You know, it's one of those things. So people don't like randomly get magic. Like something has to happen or someone has to decide to give it to them. So it's like, it's a big event if you obtain magic. Either something really good has happened or something really, really bad has happened. And now you're in the middle of it. To the point where a god has decided that you get magic now. You know, when the gods decide something like that, you know you're gonna need it, which means you're probably in some shit. And then they can just take it away. Like, it's their choice. Here's some magic, you're fucked. Hey guy, were you enjoying your life? Not anymore. Like, how would you like a radical shift in your lifestyle and the things you're able to do? Doesn't that sound so much fun? How'd you like every hiccup to cast a random spell? Oh no. I'd have such a hard time. I hiccup all the time. Words. Magic comes at the whims of powerful entities. Or if magic comes at the whims of powerful entities or by a mutation in the wake of leyline emergence. Stories set in Melkora. May be described as sword and sorcery. Though the sorcery may be less, maybe less present. If you could pick a random spell to cast every time you hiccup, which one would it be? Isn't that such a difficult question to answer? Like, you don't know when you're gonna hiccup. Fireball! No! You hiccup and then suddenly everything just explodes around you. Just oopsie. My favorite article says a list of magic powers that you get when you drink psychic beer. That's funny. You start drinking some beer and now you're just like, oh, you can now do this thing. Let's see, where are we? So we have our motivation, we have our goal, we have our selling point. Yes, we have our genre. Central mechanic to too many sessions I've played. Sounds like a fun way to keep it interesting. Just here you go, everyone. Have this little drink here that could theoretically do anything. Alright, the world of Malcora is an ever-changing one, as the nature of its magic is to alter the lands in which ley lines emerge, from the terrain to the life within. There are lands in which these changes do not occur or are diligently halted. There are those in which these changes are frequent and natural, or are intentionally catalyzed. I based it on a list of mostly useless superpowers. That's so funny. Mostly useless. Mostly useless. You can fly, but only like an inch above the ground. It's good against wet floors. Yeah, so the feel of the world is to be as dynamic as it is unstable. Though there are pockets of the world which offer reprieve from the phenomenon, the magical alteration of the world's landscapes is often unpredictable and catastrophic. As these changes are often extremely dramatic, they offer one boon to the adventurers of the world, an ever-evolving landscape with new secrets and discoveries waiting to be made, with each turn of the ley lines. I do like the way I've described that. And I think that's something that I had from my last, like before this summer, edit to my meta, so that's like a newer thing. That's pretty good. Gust. You can cause the wind to blow, but only from your butt. That's amazing. Can you use it to like propel yourself? Like rocket propulsion? Just booty wind? And for reader tone, we had Malcora is a noble dim high fantasy setting drenched in themes of faith, exploration, and rapid evolution. No one has suggested that yet. I'd allow it. So good. You've played in my world, you know. That is true. And so I think I would want to edit the recurring themes, because while the themes are not incorrect, I'm gonna stop my sentence there. They're just not incorrect. Yes, because we have faith in divinity that says, excuse me. Oh, have to get into that chat. Enjoy the rest of stream. Why, thank you. Thank you for stopping by. Enjoy your game. I will see you another time. And yes, so we have faith in divinity as one of the recurring themes, and so the deities of Malcora are many and varied and affect the world and its people in different ways. They are always present, for better or for worse. Second theme, exploration and discovery. In an ever-changing magical world, there is always something new to find, even in corners of the world you've already been to. And then change and adaptation as the third one. All living things undergo changes alongside their lands in a bid for survival. Most things in this world tend not to stay the same for too long. And so yes, this is true. And that includes the people. So you know how you have your like whole catalog of fantasy races, you know, like any game you play, you know, you got your dwarves, your elves, everything. That is basically how, like, you know, races are created in my world, is they are changed by the ley lines, like as as the world changes and shifts at the whims of the ley lines moving, different forms of people, they begin to mutate and change, and this is how they appear. Because as this magic kind of just seeps into the world around them, either the magic itself changes them, or the gods or the elementals step in to change the people in its stead. And this is in the grand scheme, it is to protect them from what is happening to the land. And so this is where the different bloodlines come into play in my world. We have the elemental bloodline. If the world is changing around someone with elemental blood, odds are the elementals are going to step in and alter that person as they see fit. Likewise with the gods, there's divine bloodlines. So someone with divine blood would likely be changed by the gods to protect them from what is going on. And there are those who just simply have magical blood. And so they are changed directly by the ley lines magic. And so that's just how this works. And so that is definitely one of those natural laws that I should probably write into this meta. Maybe, theoretically. Let's see. So what is character agency level like? I'll have to think about what angle I want to take that from. Cause it's how much power you have, how much player characters can do things. Oh, we'll come back to that one. That one's just not like, it's not coming to me right now. So we'll get there another time. How about people who used to live here and what's their story? Write maximum 1 paragraph for each lost civilization that was active in the area. Remember, you can always add more later, which have not yet been discovered. This is where the unknown mysteries come from, and a great source for dungeons, secrets, adventures, unique items, and more. Also makes your world feel living and established. If you want your world to feel brand new and unsettled, write instead about the geological history of your world, the fossils that people will find. I like the little example that they have just at the bottom here. In the New World, there was an advanced emperor of dino folk, in parentheses, like lizard folk but cooler, who were wiped out when a giant meteor hit the planet. They left behind a massive array of ancient cities, temples, objects of power, and all the trappings of a lost civilization. The old world used to be underwater until the meteor hit. The land is littered with the bones of gargantuan dead sea creatures, abandoned merfolk cities, and calcified coral forests. Yeah, it's a fun little description. I like that. It's cute. Now, which species / cultures live here now, and what is their history? Keep it brief. A paragraph is enough for the major civilizations. Sentence is plenty for any minor cultures which may be part of the adventure. Yes, what do they need, and what do they need from each other? Another really good question. IMDb Jack, hello, thank you for following. Welcome in. I'm struggling with writing. We're doing our best anyway. Let's see. Hi, I'm Jack. Hi, Jack. Welcome. How are you? I hope you're having a good day. I'm just my little Discord window peeking in here, my bad. let's see, let's see. Well, did some tutoring for a while. Now I need to get my own work done. Woohoo! What are you working on? I think at least most of us are in here just trying to get something done. Okay, yeah, who used to live here? I actually have the perfect article that I can pull info from. Oh, we're looking at this, oh, how do I, oh no. I have all these pages open. We're gonna go weasel our way back into a different world page real quick. Oh, I don't have that article up anymore on the front page. I'm working on a couple different treatments. The main was an adaptation from a story in the 20th of November 1937 Phoenix Evening Gazette. Oh. I don't know what that means, but I am intrigued. Wait, there's a search bar. What am I doing? I'm a silly little fool. Yes, the antecedents is who I think of. I write screenplays strictly. That's really cool. I have no experience whatsoever with screenplays, but I just think that they themselves as like a thing are really cool for people to be doing. Anything like screenplays, even even storyboarding, anything storytelling. Very cool. I haven't quite gotten into the story aspect of my writing yet. I used to write stories, I used to write a lot of stories. But then somewhere along the road, I just kind of stopped. And the paper mentioned above is a story about a man who got deported from the US after being charged with moral turpitude for living with a woman that wasn't his wife. Oh, dang. The goal is to write a film about the trial and deportation from the daughter's point of view. Aw. That sounds like it sounds really really serious and also sentimental and kind of yeah, I feel like there's just a lot of emotional energy in that. I feel like it'd be a really great screenplay. So excellent choice of topic, I would say. We can I'm gonna pop this article into a different tab so I can keep reading it while I'm working on this tab. So yes, who used to live here and what's their history? And so the answer to that, of course, is the antecedents from the article that we were just looking at. And so we just need to find a way to just really comfortably, simply describe what they are. Because of course I wrote like a whole 1,000 plus word article about them. So I just need to kind of condense it down and get the important things in there. I've heard of WorldAnvil before. How do you manage to not get lost in world building? See, that's my secret, Cap. I'm always lost in world building. No, but it's genuinely, yeah, it is a lot. There are a lot of different ways to go, and I do kind of just get lost in the process all the time, but that's fun for me. Like this is just a project that I work on because I like exploring that creative side of myself. I world build just to world build. And so only in the past year or so have I been really trying to pull the threads together and make it something more cohesive, something a little bit more structured. And so part of that is why I'm in here working on this meta so that I can define for myself kind of what the rules are for my world and how things came to be and who used to live here, who lives here now, you know, all of these kinds of different things. It's a very high fantasy setting. A lot of things change just all of the time. And so I need to figure out how to write in this world in a way that is structured and makes more sense. And most importantly, how to actually get my ideas onto paper. Because I suck at doing that. I have spent so much time thinking about the different things that I want to put into this world, but I have not put them all into actual writing. And so, we're gonna try to change that with this coming event. It is, of course, summer camp season, and I'm very excited for that. And that's what we're prepping for. We're just trying to organize a little. And so. Have you heard of the Twitch Writers Network on Discord? I have not. They're really I'm really not involved with like a lot of online communities for things. I feel like I should be, but I'm kind of not. I mean, the only community I'm really like involved with is the WorldAnvil community. But that makes sense because I'm just always on this website, always doing stuff on it. And so it makes sense that I would be. But yeah, I'm kind of like an artist before I'm a writer anyway. But that might be changing. I don't know. I'm really leaning more into the writer side of things, especially lately. Fair enough. I'm not in the Writer Network Discord because I already have too many channels. But a lot of my friends are, and I'm always looking out for new streamers to follow. Oh, that's nice of you. Yeah, I also have a lot of channels on Discord, but yeah, I don't know. I'm in so many different ones. And I just keep being like, okay, I'll just join this one, whatever, like I'll mute it and keep it around because I want to pop in sometimes, every now and then. But there's only maybe like 3 or 4 Discords that I actively use. And it's like WorldAnvil Discord, my personal Discord, my friend group Discord, and like a different friend group Discord. So it's like 4 that I use and like 20 that I'm in. I think it's more than 20. I don't know. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 20. Well, we already got to 20 and I'm not even at the bottom of the list. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Alright, we're up to 40. Oh god, this is a nightmare. $56. 65. 70. We were 1 away from greatness. But yeah, I'm in 70 Discord servers, and I use 4. That's wild. I haven't I haven't counted in a while. I could probably leave a few of these and not really, notice. The only reason I'm a writer is because the talent gods forgot to let me draw. Oh no. My son draws really well though. He had his own booth beside his mom's at Emerald City Comic Con when he was 13. Oh, that's wonderful. That's really cool. I love seeing young artists get like opportunities to do fun stuff like that. Of course, it was beside his mom's booth, but he still got a booth, and that's pretty fun. 18 servers, yeah. Even that's quite a few. Yeah, I'm in a bunch of Discord servers for like gaming communities, for artist communities, like different like YouTubers and different Twitch streamers. So I don't really chat in any of them, but you know, I'll get like updates and things from people. And so yeah, I just kind of keep them around because why not? I also have all the 6 billion different LARP servers from all the games that I go to or have gone to. Um, especially things went to like online games during the pandemic. Every single chapter now had a Discord server, and I joined every single one that I went to games with. It just became a lot. And then they made different, like, new unique servers for like national events, and they just don't delete the servers. It's silly. The great thing for him was all the money was his to spend. Oh yay! Yeah, it's really it is doubly excellent when kids get these opportunities and they get to, you know, like they get to reap the benefits of their own hard work, and it's really nice. The antecedents one's called Encore Home. Fixing the pics. Excellent. I mean, if ever you are struggling to if ever you are struggling to credit artwork, remember of course that reverse Google image search is a thing and can typically very easily find you the artist to credit for any work that you find elsewhere on the internet. But see, the difficulty in finding the artist to credit on an image is precisely why you should credit the artist wherever you post their work. So things like this don't happen. You found this artwork and you don't even know who it's by. Not ideal. Yes, the pandemic was a whole new era. Things were not ideal. If my if my life wasn't actively crumbling already like before all of that started, I think lockdown might have been okay for me. Like I think it would have actually been fine because I am a kind of person who likes doing everything from home. I like staying inside. I like working on my own, you know, at home digital pursuits. And yeah, so I would have not had a terrible time. It's just everything else around me that was not ideal, not perfect. But you know, we recovered. We got through it. Pretty cool. Like, cause yesterday I got in the mail finally the 2 awards, little trophies that show me like, hey man, you almost gave up writing and drawing completely over the past few really dark, terrible years, but then you picked it up, and look, you got awarded for it, which is awesome. I was in the Navy for 12 years total, ending spring of 2021. Thanks to COVID, my entire last 6 months, I was paid to check my email twice a day. I logged a lot of hours in video games then. Oh yes, absolutely. See, there were the bad parts, there were the good parts. It's just something that we, you know, it's just something that we all collectively experienced together, and that's, yeah. It's quite the thing to get through. And it's like, I don't even know if I can fully say, like, it's over now, yay! Because, like, people are still catching it, and people are still, you know, getting really sick. Like, I have a couple friends right now who actively, you know, have the COVID. One of my friends got it like 3 times. Poor dude. But yeah, it's rough out there. And my state treats it like it almost never happened at this point. Yeah, I know, like, people are like, oh, we don't have to wear our masks anymore. It never actually happened, right? There's no threat whatsoever anymore. It's a rough one. It's a toughie. Little is known of these. I'm gonna say long keepers of the long lost empire of ether. Little is known of these ancient predecessors. Little is known of these ancient predecessors of humanity. We go. Did that and nothing. Well. I don't know what to tell you there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what to tell you. I would argue if you can't source your images, don't use them. Little is known of these ancient predecessors of humanity. Bum, bum, bum. Little is known of these ancient predecessors of humanity, or what define them as people. But it is known. Alright, there we go. So let's just go back here. See where that actually goes. Probably the people tab, that makes sense. I was hoping that this page would also follow the same.
Refresh yourselves.
Thank you for the sips. Yes, I was hoping that this page would also keep like the same theme of copying the same header from, you know, up here, like who used to live here and what's their history. I'm just looking for another one. That's good. Alright, so let's see. Which species / cultures live here now, and what is their history? Humanity has survived the calamity which toppled the Empire of Ether. In addition to other scattered disasters throughout the world's timeline. Let's see. The shifting of the lands. Humanity's weakened bond with magic has left them susceptible to its influence. With the loss of the antecedents and empire, humanity's weakened bond with magic has left them susceptible to its influence. As the lands shift and change, the emergence of the ley lines. So too does humanity. Alright. As the lands shift and change with the emergence of the ley lines, so too does humanity alongside them. So we'll see what that looks like on here. Is it just gonna be... So I don't... So this header comes up as the history of Malcora so far, but the little field only asks you to talk about who used to live here. So like one aspect of history, which is fine. I can write in more. I thought we were just gonna keep it to the people, you know. Yes, we have the history of Malcora so far. The antecedents once called Malcora home, keepers of the long-lost Empire of Ether. Little is known of these ancient predecessors of humanity or what defined them as a people, but it is known from myth and legend that they commanded magic freely, as though it flowed through their veins. Under current species and cultures, humanity has survived the calamity which toppled the Empire of Ether, in addition to other scattered disasters throughout the world's timeline. With the loss of the antecedents and their empire, humanity's weakened bond with magic has left them susceptible to its influence. As the lands shift and change with the emergence of the ley lines, so too does humanity alongside them. Yeah, I like... That is a good description of what happens in this world. So what do they need and what do they need from each other? I'm just gonna put one letter in here so I see what the header pops up as. Needs and relations. Okay. So let us see. So what do they need from each other? What are they doing? People. Malcora. find themselves scattered. Find themselves scattered throughout a world of shattered empires, broken civilizations. And ruins of what once was. Find themselves hmm. Mm-hmm. Trying to find the best way to describe this again. Again with the words not coming to the brains. Yes, they find themselves scattered throughout a world of shattered empires, broken civilizations, and ruins of what once was. Find themselves in equal measure of budding communities, aspiring kingdoms, new lands of opportunity. I think that's a pretty decent way of saying like things are bad, but things are also good. We need to work together to figure out how to navigate this ever-changing situation. Because it is very hard to adapt to things when you do not have a support network. And so if one civilization that has been overturned and broken by the lands is just left to fight for itself with no help, no assistance, it's very likely that they will simply die out. So they need some friends. People of Mokora find themselves scattered throughout a world of shattered empires, broken civilizations, and ruins of what once was, to find themselves in equal measure of budding communities, aspiring kingdoms, and new lands of opportunity. Oh, but what do they need from each other? Driving radical change. Surviving radical change is difficult without support, and this is what the people must provide one another to keep a crumbled nation from becoming population gone extinct. We'll keep it at that. You need to take each other under your wing. Or else really, what are you doing? Support each other, and that support will come back to you. Hold on, where am I? vibing out here real quick. Yeah, so we at least have something in all of the people sections, which is great. Imagery for inspiration. I don't feel a need to fill out the inspiration section. Let's see. How did the world come to be? Yes, write how the world actually came to be. So you can add the prevalent in-world belief if you'd like. This section is about what really happened. Where did it actually come from? I should say, what does the geography of your world look like? Does your geography have any special properties or features? And that most certainly is going to be an important topic to cover, given the way that this world functions. Which I will say is it's very sloppy. Not necessarily the writing, but just the function of the world. Like, things just be changing. Things just be changing, things just be happening. And there's not a whole lot that anyone can do about it. And much like, much like the real life, life happens when you least expect it to, and at some of the worst times. Hmm. So let's see. Yeah, so what does this look like? Should be a generic vision of your geography. Is your world full of volcanoes and lava flows or floating islands? Is it an ice plains or a desert waste? Is it a planet city like Coruscant? Is it a biodiverse or all the same? From winters which last decades, Game of Thrones, to moons which throw destructive spores, World of Pern. Extraordinary geographical features can add character and challenges to your world. What are the fundamental truths of the physical geography of your world? Remember to refer back to your genre, tone, and motifs in your foundation. They will give you a ton of inspiration for this. Alright. We're just gonna start typing. Geography. Cora. It's ever changing. Geography of Melkora is ever changing. And can push to extremes. Need picks for Emerence and Coda Jude. Excellent. I hope you find some good ones. Yeah, if you want to make things easy for yourself and find art that is easy to credit, just like look at artist pages, like DeviantArt and all of that. Like, every single result that you find is going to be on the page of the artist who made it. That makes it pretty simple. Yes, geography of Melkor is ever changing and you can push to extremes at times. There are regions of the world which seem to be removed from this cycle of change. Yeah, is there are regions of the world which seem to be removed from this cycle of change. Remaining as they have been. Spans of time ranging from centuries to millennia. In sharp contrast, other parts of the world. Wow, words are overhauled almost entirely. As frequently as monthly or yearly. Certain parts of the world are more unstable than others. With such a large range. Such a large range of time spans between shifts in the world. It is very easy for a civilization caught wholly unaware. When changes strike. Where did you say? So my suggestion was DeviantArt. You know, that is a let's see, oh my gosh, copy paste. Oof. So it's a pretty good site for just, you know, scrolling through art, looking at stuff. Yeah, if you're writing purely for fun and you're just looking for some images to use, yeah, you can use these and make sure you just let everyone know, like, this is the artist, this is where you got it from. Guess you don't need to technically like say like where you got it from, but who you got it from for sure. And it's easy to just toss a link into the artist credit. Very simple. Of course, just don't be taking random artwork for professional works, but I don't think that's the situation we're in right now. Different regions of the world vary greatly in their geographical features. Oh. And different regions of the world vary greatly in their geographical features. As many are directly influenced by different forms magic. All of which may present themselves numerous forms. One form of magic can alter landscapes vastly different ways. Especially as these different forms of magic interact with one another. Okay, I am a fan of this. This is good for me, and I assume that's in the scene here. Yes, good. Yes, the laws of Malcora. Malcora is tied heavily to themes of magic, of which there are 3 types. So of course, we have the ley lines. I think I wrote all of this recently, like last week or Sunday. I don't know. I did it at some point. And it wasn't Sunday. Probably last Tuesday, if I had to guess. No, because I didn't stream last Tuesday. When did I do this? Probably after homework on Saturday. So yes, we have the ley lines, the arcane magic flowing through the world. We have the divine, which is the magic of the gods, and elemental, which is the magic of the primordials. So these are the 3 different forms of magic which shape the land and can affect the people. Oh, and then so we have this section on principal geography and features. And thus we say, the geography of Malcora is ever-changing and can push to extremes at times. There are regions of the world which seem to be removed from this cycle of change, remaining as they have been for spans of time ranging from centuries to millennia. In sharp contrast, other parts of the world are overhauled almost entirely, as frequently as monthly or yearly. Different regions of the world vary greatly in their geographical features, as many are directly influenced by different forms of magic, all of which may present themselves in numerous forms. Sorry, I looked away as I was finishing that part of the sentence and then forgot that I was reading something and needed to continue reading it. And lost my place. But yeah, one form of magic can alter landscapes in vastly different ways, especially as these different forms of magic interact with one another. Certain parts of the world are more unstable than others, and with such a large range of time spans between shifts in the world, it is very easy for a civilization to be caught wholly unaware when changes strike. So I think that is a really good description of what the geography of my world behaves like. And things can be all over the place, wacky and wild, as magic just kind of runs rampant throughout it. Let's see. Let's see, especially as this magic interacts with any pre-existing magics remaining in the region. I think that is a better way for me to rewrite that part. Yes, one form of magic can alter landscapes in vastly different ways, especially as this magic interacts with any pre-existing magics remaining in the region. I think that just better identifies what is interacting with what. And yeah, I think that just makes it a little better. Yes, certain parts of the world are more unstable than others, and with such a large range of time spans between shifts in the world, it's very easy for a civilization to be caught wholly unaware when changes strike. Good. I like that description. Let's see, initial size or active setting. I'll come back to that later. I don't know, I have an area of the setting I could theoretically use for that, but we won't define that yet. How did this world come to be? You know, I don't actually know how the world came to be. I will admit that. I know how it came to be as it was, but not how it came to exist. So, yeah, drama points, that'd be cool, but we'll see. We will have to see. I have some ideas for what these little drama points could be, but I'm not gonna throw them like up here until I at least vaguely know how to describe them. And so, focus points. And decide a few focus points you would like to decide on. What happens if I just type in here? Is it under foundation? It is, okay. Does this work? Okay, so it literally just plain texts under a header of focus. I'll just do a little header too, I think. Forced adaptation? I don't know how I want to define this point. It's like constant change, adaptation. Constant need for adaptation, question mark? I do a little header 3 instead. No, that's a different font. Straight to header 4. Yeah, that works. Alright, it's down here. In an ever-changing world, humanity is forced to adapt or die. This process is aided by connections in their ancient bloodlines. As the gods in primordial strive to protect their children, as the ley lines alter the leyborn. How's that? It's a nice little quick point. Let's see. Crunching my knuckles because my body is in shambles and I'm always crunchy. It'd be really cool if that wasn't the case. destruction and reconstruction. New beginnings. I like that little, like this little note of like, you know, like this is the main theme and this is like the vibe of it. So there's constant destruction and reconstruction in this world, and that's kind of on the theme of new beginnings. Things are always kind of starting up fresh, and that's kind of necessary, kind of required in a lot of places in the world. So not only is humanity required to like physically evolve to reflect these magical surroundings that they're in, they also need to learn to rebuild their societies at like a pretty fast and frequent pace. And you can start to wonder, like, is it worth it? There's that like existential question, like, it's going to be destroyed, is it worth it to build it in the first place? And that's most certainly a mindset that could come up in different parts of my world. You know, I imagine there would be a lot of nomadic cultures in this world for precisely that reason. Like, why build if it's going to be destroyed? So that's certainly something to think about, something to consider throughout all of this. Hmm. In an ever-changing magical world, humanity is forced to adapt or die. Ugh, alright. Let's see, what would my third point be, though? Hmm. The quest for knowledge. Hmm. Yes. Okay, yeah, that's absolutely what it would be. Because a lot of what the world would be focusing on is trying to understand how the world got to be the way that it is today. Because they know from what little historical record, myths, legends, tales that they could find, that their world was not like this back in the age of the antecedents. Like, they had a world very similar to ours, where, you know, the lands are not magical, like, nothing really magical happens, but the people had and commanded magic. And somehow, throughout the history of the world, these two things got flipped. So now the people don't really have access to magic, but the lands, the world itself, extremely magical. To the point where it is constantly overturning itself and changing, kind of just with the flow of the ley lines. They will emerge in different parts of the world, and the magic will just seep into the lands. Everything will change, including the people and the animals and everything that lives there. But they find themselves not really able to utilize that magic unless somehow, through this evolution and change that they experience, they gain some form of ability. But it's not the kind of magic you would expect in like a D&D campaign, you know, where you're like casting fireballs everywhere. But it'll just be something related to this form of magic that has changed you. You could maybe theoretically find a way to cast fireballs, but you know, it's different. Like, you're not learning spells really. You're just able to manipulate the magic that is already around you. especially if you have been shaped by it yourself. So yeah, the world is meant to be wacky and wild and strange and ever-changing. And the people are just trying to live in it, you know? The people are trying to live in it, but they are shaped and reshaped by different magical forces that rule over this world, more or less. Hmm. I was gonna say seeking truth. Historians of Melkor strive to uncover secrets behind the ancient empire which preceded the nameless era. There was once a golden age of magic, or so the stories say. Blood has spilled. Lives taken and given. Blood has spilled, lives taken and given. And I need one more thing. Is to show the gravity of just how badly people want to find out this information. Ooh. I'll say lifetimes devoted. Just add a little description to the second one, to New Beginnings. Nature of magic in Melkora is to change the lands. The nature of magic in Melkora is to change the lands, to alter geography from its very makeup and forms. In this process, humanity's great civilizations are often destroyed. And left in ruin. Their inhabitants. These great civilizations are often destroyed as their inhabitants are left either to move on or rebuild. We'll just leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. Bam, there you go. So now we have like a pretty decent number of things just in this meta. And so that's pretty cool. So if anyone is interested in popping by this meta and just seeing what Malcora is about, you are more than welcome to just come hop on by and see what's going on in here. So yes, we've got my motivations and goals and my take on what the selling point is. We have our genre, reader experience, the tone, recurring themes, and focus. Constant need for adaptation, destruction and reconstruction, and the quest for knowledge. The scene, we have the laws, the magic systems that are in play, the way that the geography functions in this world, and the people we have who used to be here. A brief description of, humanity and what their role is here. And just how people
Refresh
survive together.
yourselves.
Why, thank you for the sippy. Appreciates you. Of course, I am going to start winding down a little bit on my little stream here. It's about time to, start heading for bed. If you do want to keep hanging out with me and chatting and just receiving all of my cool updates, I do have a Discord server, and I do recommend you check it out. You can choose the things that you get pinged for, because, I'm in 70 servers, so I know what it means to get way too many notifications. But more important is what we've been gearing for over here for the past, it's been half of the month so far. This is what we're here for, baby. Summer camp on WorldAnvil. I would assume that several of you even, are already members of the WorldAnvil community, so you know all about what this is. But if you don't, come check it out. I love this place, and I love working on summer camp. It is my favorite event of the year, and that's why I've just gone absolutely feral for it. Doing my homework the moment I can get off of their reveal stream, like, oh, it's time, I gotta do my homework. And you know that on Saturday, my next stream, we are going to be doing the exact same thing. It is the next theme reveal for summer camp. Of course, our two themes so far are power and frontier. And so we're gonna get little category number 3, theme 3. And then the week after that, we will get theme 4. Well, will we? Yes, we will. Okay, because that's the 24th. Because I know that the Saturday after that is the 1st, so I was like, huh, no, it's gonna be summer camp day. No, it's not. That is still like 3 weeks away. But yeah, so this Saturday, more homework, we get our 3rd theme reveal, and I will be on here at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be doing our summer camp homework, prepping for the week ahead, maybe doing some more summer camp prep, just any kind of writing that comes to mind. And I welcome everyone to come back and join me for some more productive time, just having some chats, doing some work together, just coming up with ideas, bouncing stuff off of each other. That's the whole vibe of the stream. So yes, Saturday, 2 p.m. will be my next. Sunday, 2 p.m. also is when I play video games. I am working my way through the story of Graveyard Keepers, so if you are interested in that game or games like it, Stardew Valley, any kind of like farming and house homestead sim, you will enjoy. So yes, I will be heading on out of here, be getting out of your hair. We're gonna go see if there's someone we can go raid right now. And I think, indeed I will, send you off to my friend Grinning Hazard, new Twitch partner, so go enjoy his content. He is fantastic. Playing Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I know that is a hit lately. I haven't gotten to play it yet. That's okay. Because I will be sending you all off to there. So everyone have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your time zone. And I will see you guys on Saturday, hopefully. So, goodbye. I will begin this raid. Everyone, yes, just have the wonderful, loveliest of lovely days. Keep your sippies handy. Stay happy, stay hydrated. And happy world building, everybody. Have a good one.